Hello, everybody. It's me again. Hello, hello, hello. Talking about a few things tonight. Talking about the hopefully military coup in USA. Should be a big deal. Should help save Gaza. The Samud flotilla, global Samud flotilla that got intercepted somewhat, got abandoned somewhat by the ships that were escorting it somewhat. Talking about the Mike Johnson's Grindr profile, I guess. How really think that open gay sex could end fascism. If we have more openly gay sex, that could end fascism. So I'm excited about that potential end to Trumpism and fascism. And I think the flotilla is still progressing. The last I heard, they intercepted 2 ships out of like 15. And yeah, it got abandoned by their escorts, but I don't think that means it's over. I think they're trying. I don't know. I'd like to hear an update on that because what I heard on the radio was that they tried to make it sound like the whole thing had been intercepted, but then they made it sound like 2 ships had been intercepted. And then from what I saw on YouTube, when I came on YouTube just now, it looked like at least some of them had been kidnapped because it said, if you're seeing this video, we've been kidnapped. So that's something to keep an eye on now, or to everybody's protesting it all around the world. So hopefully this kind of growing protest back and forth will both break the blockade and end the genocide, but also unite all these people in um, support for Palestine. So, and I'd like to if people were united in support for America, but we have to realize the way to do that is to overthrow Trump. So looking for a military coup there, and it seems like there were a few other topics I wanted to talk about tonight. Oh yeah, all the Charlie Kirk sleaziness, all the Erica Kirk sleaziness, and again Trump sleaziness, the Epstein files, which I don't know. It's like you can talk about different subjects, but they all tie in so much together. So overthrowing Putin and Netanyahu and Trump are the goals. And until we get people here, I'll go ahead and sing a song because I figured I'd do some of that too. I also wanted to welcome TikTok refugees, if any. But it would be highly unlikely for a TikTok refugee to come to YouTube or come back to YouTube and find my live. But it was possible, and I did want to talk to those people when they get here in the future or as they start coming here. I think it's really going to change YouTube around the fact that they're doing what they do to TikTok. So, meaning capture TikTok and make it bad. So I think people will come back here and it'll all backfire on them, just like all their plans will backfire on them. Um, anyway, I'm real interested in this kind of future revolution that we're going through, that we're starting. And I guess the other topics I would talk about, considering the audience, gosh, I've been going 3 minutes without, that's interesting, without anyone, I think one person was here for a minute, but without really settling on a topic. So one of the other things I talk about is the Church of Judas replacing Christianity. I'm always willing to talk about that with anyone who's ready to listen to it. And then Fairy Liberation Front, which I don't talk about nearly enough. But TikTok reminds me of that, or the fact that they did fully capture TikTok, or been making TikTok worse. So anyway, we should be expecting YouTube to get better proportionately as people leave TikTok and come back to YouTube. Apparently not to here though. Maybe it's my little friend scaring YouTube off from letting anybody see my live. Anyway, I'll start with a song then, because I was going to do a song to start, but those are the topics I will discuss in between the songs, I guess. So, the Foxen song, I usually start off with, hello, 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 welcome to the Foxen Show. The song I usually start off with is called Worlds Away. I know this fellow always has something to say. He's not the one to tell you night from day. And now he's in your town, there's going to be a way. Just go through him to get out of the gray. In these days we're all astray. Amazing, in these nights when all the graves are raves. Who's to say it's all a play? We're gazing worlds away as we fly through the waves. I like this girl, she wants me to turn it in. She asked me where all of my life has been. We never met, just felt that look, and then I wanted to turn out all that lies within. In these days we're all astray. Amazing, in these nights when all the graves are raised. Who's to say it's all a play? We're gazing worlds away as we fly through the waves. That was Worlds Away. I'll sing another song if you like, but this time I'm doing a real mixed up live where I'll talk about things and I'll sing a song and I'll talk about things some more. So if you're interested in talking about things, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to sing the song inspired by the cat. This is a song called Cat Town. And it goes like this. So many roads take flight on both sides of the night. Our boat will pass them by on both sides of the night. And in between banks, we'll float on and pour out thanks that we'll get there if we just glide. Back down in Cat Town. Back down in Cat Town if you get there safely. Back down in Cat Town if you get there fine. Pink and gold and bright on both sides of the night. I think we stole away from sight on both sides of the night. And in between days, our imagination plays with its wondrous selves, you and I. Back down in Cat Town. Back down in Cat Town if you get there safely. Back down in Cat Town if you get there fine. If you go, you will find no one is around. If you can, they won't mind if you just back down. We never told these lies on both sides of the night until we passed 2 stone felines on both sides of the night. Back down in Cat Town. Back down in Cat Town if you get there safely. Back down in Cat Town if you get there fine. Back down in Cat Town. Back down in Cat Town. Back down in Cat Town. The topics are the U.S. military coup, Gaza, Epstein. Whoa, whoa, what'd you do? Sorry, never mind. The cat went ahead and did something. The cat just turned off the video for a second. If y'all want to talk about breaking the siege of Gaza, if you want to talk about Epstein, if you want to talk about, in a way, these are all the same subject. If you want to talk about defeating Putin, if you want to talk about the military coup in America, if you want to talk about any of those things, we can talk about any of those things. If you want to talk about how Church of Judas replaces patriarchy Christianity, if you want to talk about the Fairy Liberation Front, TikTok, and the TikTok refugees coming to YouTube, welcome TikTok refugees of the future, since nobody's here now. Any of those things you want to talk about, or I'll sing you another song. Or anything you'd like to talk about. The government shutdown, how gay the Republicans are. Anything you want to talk about, or I'll sing you another song. I think they're still going to overthrow Trump. My prediction of the military overthrowing Trump has not happened yet. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but it's not like it's like the opposite's happened. They didn't swear an oath of loyalty to Trump. They didn't even clap for him or express any desire to be there or to be glad at anything he said. So I think we're well on our way. I think the fact that he made him show up shows that he doesn't respect him. Then the things he said shows he doesn't respect him. Then the things he asked him to do shows he doesn't respect him. So why should they respect him? I mean, I think they still, as a formality, respect the office of the presidency, but they don't respect Trump, and they'll probably overthrow Trump. The military overthrowing Trump is in many ways, I don't want to say still the best option. I think in many ways it's the best option. Military overthrowing Trump is the best option for lots of reasons. I'm all for Congress doing their job, but they haven't been doing it. I mean, they might be about to. That's good too. That would be better for certain reasons too. Congress overthrowing Trump instead of the military overthrowing Trump is better for certain reasons. Um, there's benefits to each one. Okay, your comments don't really matter. Like, other people can read them if they need to, but you're not really contributing to the conversation, so I'll just continue talking about what I was talking about. The military overthrowing Trump has certain benefits. Ending the genocide in Gaza. I think the military could do it a lot sooner. They might not, and so that might be a bad bet to be hopeful that the military would end the genocide in Gaza faster than the Democrats would. And it's not even like the Democrats will be in power if they remove Trump. It depends on how they remove Trump. J.D. Vance will be president under, half the scenarios. So Vladimir Putin will be president under half the scenarios. So it's not really that much of an improvement. I mean, Vance is at this point a wannabe Trump. So even though he would have less influence over the followers and stuff, even if they remove Trump, especially if Vance removes Trump. If Vance removes Trump, that gets a little dicey, which is why he's afraid to do it. He gets to be president if he removes Trump. He has the authority to remove Trump with the 25th Amendment. He's too scared to do it. And if he's too scared to become president, he's too scared to be president. When you think about it, like, he definitely doesn't really deserve to be president, or we don't deserve to have Trump as president. Like, that's bad enough, but we also don't deserve to have Vance as president. That's also bad. I guess we do in some ways. I don't know. These things aren't necessarily fitting, especially if there was shenanigans in putting him in office. So, which I think there are on many different levels. I think it's really ironic to think about how Joe Biden wasn't going to arrest Trump because of the look of targeting your political enemies. He had every reason, like so many reasons, to arrest Trump. And the one reason for not arresting Trump was to not look bad for targeting your political enemies. And now look where we are now. Look where we are now. Hey, what happened on Tuesday? I think Hegseth was trying to get a date with the military general, and he was doing some like fetish porn stuff about wanting the generals to get in shape. I think that's what really came out of it. I think the generals felt disrespected by being called there, and they felt disrespected by what they said to him. then they felt disrespected by being asked to go to war against the American people. So I think the generals are still likely to coup. If you're referring to what happened to my prediction of them cooing, KC said in chat, "Hey, what happened Tuesday? LMAO." He only put 2 question marks, so he's not American. But if you think, the coup started, the coup progressed. This didn't keep the generals wanting to coup less. It definitely put them closer to a coup. But the fact that they didn't have to coup on Tuesday gives the Congress a chance to do their job, or more time to do their job. Palestine flag, yeah, Ukraine flag, Palestine flag, flowers, just like a shape, like an image. Welcome, Ada. Thank you. The other topic was the global Samud flotilla breaking the siege of Gaza, which I think is still happening. According to our news, they did arrest, they kidnapped Greta Thunberg and some of the other activists on 2 of the boats, but I heard there were like 50 boats. And then I heard there was like this Italian warship, or like Italian and Spanish warship, that were escorting them, but then they peeled off before they got into Israeli waters. What's Israeli waters? Like, how far do Israeli waters extend? I thought they were still in international waters, but apparently the escorts peeled off when they got into Israeli waters. Just go ahead. Your warships, weren't they? Weren't the Italian and Spanish ships warships? Anyway, I'll sing you guys another song if you want me to stop talking about this stuff. But I think it's very important to talk about breaking the siege of Palestine and stopping the genocide. I mean, it's been important to talk about that all this time, but right now, like, so many cities are in protest and so many people are focusing on that I think it helps us all to focus on it more. I'm going to have to grab the charger for my phone, though. Give me a second. Okay. How are you? Welcome to the live. Welcome to YouTube if you're a TikTok refugee. Pay no attention to the man behind the fascism. Pay no attention to the man behind the comments. Yeah, they're just a troll. They're like a fascist, so they don't matter. They're the comments that don't matter. I mean, they help bring more people in for the fucking YouTube. Net and YouTube helps find more of them to put into the live, but occasionally good people arrive as well. So if you're a good person, welcome to the live, and I'll be reading your comments out and discussing things, or I'll sing you guys a song if we don't get any good comments. So if somebody's asking what fascism is, but he's a fascist asking what fascism is, so just go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, don't be in the live anymore. Thanks for your absence. The fascists will be appreciated in their absence, but for nothing else. You'll be appreciated when you're gone. No one's going to miss you when you're gone. We will celebrate when the fascists are gone. So, I'll celebrate with a song. And again, Casey and White Man, if you couldn't guess from their names and profiles and stuff, do not need to be acknowledged. So, I'll sing you a song while we wait for good people to come into the live to comment instead. This is the song Secret Police. We are the secret police. We'll arrest the memories that waken. Wait, let me start again. And let me start a little higher key because, yeah, that was too low. I'll sing it like this. We are the secret police. We'll arrest the memories that break in when you sleep. We are the secret police. Investigate omissions that got you in so deep. We are the secret police. Protect and serve the silence that you want to keep. We are the secret police. Undercovers wired like lovers, hiding to expose each other. We are the secret police. Tell the captain something happened. We're going in for some action. We are the secret police. And when you call us, then you're in for a treat. We are the secret police. We're almost invisible when we're on the beat. We are the secret police. The underground is waiting for you to come down off your street. We are the secret police. Undercovers wired like lovers, hiding to expose each other. We are the secret police. Tell the captain something happened. We're going in for some action. That was Secret Police. Never mind the fascists in comments. Fascists gonna fash. But I won't have to read their comments because I have songs to sing instead. I like this format. I usually either talk or sing songs, and I sing songs the whole time, or I talk the whole time. This time I'm going to talk in between songs if anybody wants to talk about stuff. Topics are Gaza breaking the siege, the global submarine flotilla getting kidnapped. The other topic is the kidnappings in America, automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts, overthrowing Trump, military coup, / getting our elected representatives in, which leads us into, what's his name, Mike Johnson's Grindr profile. Mike Johnson's being exposed for his Grindr profile today. Was that today? Did that happen today? It was supposed to be Wednesday. Or he was supposed to swear in the congresswoman who would be the 218th vote to release the Epstein files. So, all these things are connected. Again, back to Trump and Israel again, and Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk, and all the stuff coming out about them, like they killed the wrong person, like they killed somebody that drew a lot of attention to his wife, that anybody could have found out that information about Erica Kirk 2 weeks ago before they killed Charlie Kirk, but nobody was looking into it until what they tried to do. So again, between the cover-up and the weirdness of the way they celebrate their deaths and stuff, yeah, like it's blowing up on them in lots of different ways. So we don't have to read the comments from. Usually, I'll read everybody's comments live on the live, but people can always read the chat in the live playback as well. So white man is projecting. YouTube's all night. So yeah, these are the guys who protect the pedophile, Trump, like they're actively protecting a pedophile, running around accusing random people of being pedophiles when they're pedophiles because they actively protect a pedophile. They have to show their something from town. Anyway, the stuff that was predicted last week. So they're criticizing my predictions last week about how the military would coup. I think the military is a step closer to a coup. I don't think the military has to coup. They would have had to coup if Trump was like getting them to line up on one side of the room or another. It really would have been time to coup at that point. He didn't really do that much. He did suggest that he was going to be sending them to war against the American people, but he didn't send them. He didn't like make that declaration or anything. And I think that gives them something to think about in their decision whether or not to coup. But I also think that instead of cooing, they can give time to the Congress to do their job and just impeach/remove Trump as unfit for office using the 25th Amendment. He keeps doing things that make him unfit for office. But J.D. Vance can do that too. J.D. Vance is too much of a coward to do that. And we much prefer President Vance to President Trump, even if he does take over. Because President Vance, Vladimir Putin, is way easier to topple. He folds. Vladimir Putin folds like a futon. Yeah, the generals were in one. Okay, I'll read your comment, White Man from Town, the Nazi Klansman, who, let's refresh everybody about White Man from Town's channel activity. He joined 4 months ago and has 2 subscribers. White Man from Town says, okay, they were just all there in one place and it didn't happen. Yeah, the generals were all in one place because they were ordered to be there. They weren't all murdered. That was something I was worried about. Putin and Trump didn't kill them all. That's great. That's really refreshing. You know, in a way, it makes me think, wow, Putin's weaker than I thought he was. And I thought he was pretty weak, but Putin's even weaker than I thought he was. Because I thought, coin flip, 50-50 chance Putin and Trump might just murder all 800 generals while they had them there. I guess Putin's really kind of weak. Like he's really kind of a weakling, or he just doesn't have, they have this agreement amongst the generals or something. I don't know. I think he's just a weakling, right? He wasn't ready for that, I guess. He wasn't ready to try to manage that. Or he's playing some type of... No, he's definitely a weakling, because he had that opportunity and he didn't take it, so Putin's definitely a weakling. But he's playing some type of game where he's going to turn these generals against those generals, or try to do this Civil War thing, right? Trump's definitely trying to start a Civil War. He's been trying to start a Civil War. And he'll fail at that. Like, we're not having a Civil War right now, so Trump is failed. Trump has been failing. Oh, sorry, I saw some new people showed up. Shadow Typhoon's not new. I don't need to read his comment. Malt Licky, I don't know if you're new or not. You seem new. Welcome, Malt Licky. Nice to meet you. I'm Puffin. Welcome to the Pillar Revolution, Fair Liberation Front, Church of Judas, and the Peace Pipe Party. Pete Hegseth's speech was embarrassing. So was Trump's UN speech. Yeah, they're all embarrassing. They're embarrassing to, like, everything. Everything you would associate with those guys is embarrassing. They're embarrassing to America. They're embarrassing to white people. They're embarrassing to men. They're embarrassing to humans. They're embarrassing to animals. They're just embarrassing as fuck. They're embarrassing the earth, for like aliens that are watching this shit from outer space. Like, dude, they're embarrassing as fuck. They don't represent us very well at all. Prince Henry says, how can a grown man cry so much? I don't remember who was crying. Was it Hegseth? Was Hegseth crying about not finding a mate amongst the generals? Not finding anyone with abs enough for him? So it reminded me, somebody said that Russia really focuses on the physical fitness of their generals as well. Like the original Russia. Not this, imitation of Russia that Trump's trying to make us. But like the original Russia really focuses on the military physique of their generals, or of their soldiers as well. But it made me think of 1 million six-packs of rock-hard 19-year-old Russian abs that are all just growing sunflowers. They're not doing any push-ups anymore. They're pushing up sunflowers in Ukraine now. Because no matter how fit all those Russians were, they're dead now. They're fucking dead as fuck. They're in the ground. All those abs are in the ground. Nobody's enjoying them having those abs. Pete Hegseth can't salivate over those abs. They're dead. The only thing they're pushing up is fucking sunflowers. Let's read the Nazis' comments. I won't read them out loud. It's probably bad juju. I'll read them out loud if it's something I wanted to talk about. White man from town, and I'll read them out loud in a Russian accent because that's always fun. White man from town says, "Sir, I'm sorry they wouldn't let you use the female restroom. You have 3 views." Shadow Typhoon. I remember you being a Nazi, Shadow Typhoon. Let me see. Oh yeah, welcome. If you're a TikTok refugee, we can call Trump Mutineers what they are here. Fucking Nazis. We can call them pedophiles. We can talk about how they killed Charlie Kirk. You don't have to use all that TikTok-ese. So welcome. Welcome to YouTube if you're a TikTok refugee. And sorry for what they did to TikTok. But Trump talk. Shadow Typhoon, the Nazi pedophile, says, why do you feel the need to point out people's subscribers? Well, let's point out your subscribers, Shadow Typhoon, and see what it means. Shadow Typhoon joined 12 years ago and has 1 subscriber. I don't know. I don't know. Why do I need to point out that you joined YouTube? You've literally had an account on YouTube for 12 years and you have 1 subscriber. That means you don't put out any content. Anybody who has a single digits worth of subscribers on YouTube says never posted a video. So what do you use an account for 12 years to do? You use it to troll. You're just some MAGA, Trump boutonniere, Nazi trash pedophile. Okay. Prince Henseth asks how much a grown man can cry. I don't know. Is that like a koan, a riddle or something? White man from town. So sounded out. Matt Licky. Malt Licky is a good person. So we'll read Malt Licky's comments. Modern warfare doesn't require being extremely fit. It requires technology and brains. Pete is clueless. Exactly. He just has this fantasy about being fit, and he was just like, everybody could just tell he was gay. Like, him being gay is what we all got out of that meeting. Him being gay and Trump being a traitor is what everybody got out of that meeting. And then, like, he didn't get a date out of it, I don't think, which I think is what he wanted, but he didn't get. I don't know. I heard some lady talking about that. The main thing they did in that stupid meeting is they normalized the idea of firing everybody. They normalized the idea of kind of like loyalty. Well, they definitely like loyalty to them. They normalized the idea of attacking Americans. They put all this stuff out there in the context of it being a big nothing, a photo op, a pep talk, Hegseth cruising for some sex. And it might have been a little bit of all of that, but that's not what it was. What it was trying to put within that bullshit context, waste of time context, the ideas of attacking the American people and some other stuff. Nazi pedophiles, y'all don't have to talk. Yeah. I dismissed you as an other. No, I dismissed you as an other because you're a Nazi and a pedophile. They not like us. They not like us. They is you. You Trump boutonniere MAGAs. You know what you're welcome to do? Stop sucking Trump's butthole and spewing the bullshit out on my screen. And we can talk. Talk about some shit that you would say if you'd never heard of fucking Trump before. Talk about some shit you might have been interested in when you were a child. Or when you were a teenager in college or some shit. When you were in your 20s. Talk about some shit before you turned into a goddamn Nazi. And we can talk. But I'll dismiss the fuck out of Nazis all goddamn day. Y'all are dismissed from life. Y'all are dismissed from America. I would catapult y'all's asses off of Sarah Palin's porch in a fucking heartbeat. Catapult you all to Siberia into 2 different camps. I put those camps far enough apart that the catapult would never miss. You know what those camps would be. How many genders do y'all think there are? That's how many camps y'all are going to get. And they're going to be far enough apart that y'all never see each other again. That's how we use you guys' ideas to get you guys out of the gene pool. All right. Camps. That's what you get. Camps, you fucking Nazis. Let's see what. Oh, yeah. White man from town says, what is a Nazi? What's this? What is a Nazi? You know what a Nazi is. Putin's a Nazi, right? Right? Can you agree Putin's a Nazi? We'll go from there. Let's start at the top. Putin's a Nazi, right? Let's agree whether or not Putin's a Nazi in comments. You're going to say about Azov Battalion. You're going to say Ukraine. Azov Battalion, they were Nazis. Yeah, and Putin probably put those Nazis there, right? So who has Nazis to put in a place in order to attack the place by blaming it for having Nazis? Who puts attackers somewhere to attack you, to attack themselves? Who puts attackers someplace to attack themselves? October 9/11. Who puts attackers somewhere to attack themselves in order to do genocides and shit? Who does that? Nazis do that shit. So who are we talking about here? Are we talking about you? Okay. White man from Nazareth. You have 8 people who are streaming your failures as a man. I'll sing another song. I'll sing you the song, The Blue Fairy. You'll love that one. Speaking of failures as a man, that's the perfect segue to The Blue Fairy. Are you ready? It goes like this. Say you want to be a real boy, so why run away from me? I'm the voice inside your head now. I'm your closest company. The blue fairy watches us with our own eyes, knows we'll grow out of our lies. The blue fairy makes us real when we believe we can escape from you and me. You smashed me when I tried to warn you, ignored my ghost along the way. Tricked into gold farming, they tied you to a tree until the fairy saved the day. The blue fairy watches us with our own eyes, knows we'll grow out of our lies. The blue fairy makes us real when we believe we can escape from you and me. They tried to hide you in a donkey's skin and ears. They tried to hide you in a whale. They tried to hide you in a puppet show of fears, pinned inside a splintered jail. The blue fairy watches us with our own eyes, knows we'll grow out of our lies. The blue fairy makes us real when we believe we can escape from you and me. Wish we could escape from the Trump boutonnieres in chat, but anyway, while they're here, I'll extract the curses from the Trump boutonniere MAGA pedophiles in chat, and I will curse Trump with them. I'll extract the curses from the Nazi pedophile Trump boutonnieres in chat, and I will curse Netanyahu with them, and I will extract the curses from the Nazi pedophile Trump boutonnieres in chat, and I will curse Putin with them. So yeah, we're going to talk about Nazis. You guys want to talk about Nazis? And you can agree that Putin's a Nazi, right? Did we get that far yet? Did we get that far in the conversation? Let's see where you guys were in the conversation. He dismisses me as an other because he's a fascist. Nothing I've ever said equates to being a Nazi. I don't know. Do you support Trump? Like, let's just get right down to it. Shadow Typhoon says you never supported Trump. Okay, you've never said you supported Trump. You nut was your statement. I had to show it for everybody else to see. But like, did you say you didn't support Trump? Like, you might stand out to me if you said you didn't support Trump or if you were anti-Trump. So you need to like register. You know what I'm saying? White man from town says we should have a Pritzker lead the military. We could have Pritzker. Who the hell's Pritzker? Nobody knows who the fuck Pritzker is. J.D. Pritzker or something? Another J.D., another Jessica Davis? We should have Pritzker lead the military. He might have a heart attack if he stands up for a chair. Or you're like making a joke because Pritzker is, I guess, old or something. Dude, anybody. Everybody's better than Trump. Literally anybody's better than Trump. White man from town says, you don't know what the Nazi is. Dude, I know you're a goddamn Nazi. Right? You are pretending that you know that Nazi's a bad thing. But you also secretly are a Nazi. And you probably know it. So it's like, I don't have to pretend what I am. I'll tell you what I am. You know? And like, I can prove it. Like, you can tell. Like, you're going to try to tell me what you are. And you're going to like hold some things back. You're going to, but I can tell you're on brand for your armband. We know exactly what you are. White man from town says, is there enough room? We are housing your foreign collusion voting block there. Dude, you guys have a foreign collusion? Yeah, that's what you do. I don't know if you're just being Russian or you're joking about being Russian, whatever. Anyway, Malt Licky is a decent person. I'll read Malt Licky's comment. The Trump administration acts like tough guys, while simultaneously being Netanyahu's butler. LOL, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, pretty much. Lackeys for Netanyahu and Putin. I mean, Trump is beholden to Netanyahu, but they're on the equal level. Trump and Netanyahu are both slaves of Putin. Like, Putin's running both of these guys. How he runs them, it's partly based on, like, their ambitions or their fears of prosecution. Like, Putin is running this show. But getting rid of Trump or Netanyahu does a lot of damage to Putin. Or you can just get rid of damn Putin. Like, watch what happens when they get rid of damn Putin. When we get to a post-Putin world, one good Ukrainian drone away from a post-Putin world. When we get to a post-Putin world, dude, Trump and Netanyahu, they ain't gonna have shit. They won't have any they won't have anybody doing the thinking for them. You think about how stupid their plans are, right? Really fucking stupid, right? Really fucking stupid plans. Like, let's try to keep the Epstein files hidden. By every single, you have to shut down the government to keep the Epstein files. Every fucking thing we can do to keep the Epstein files hidden. That's not going to last but so many more days. Like, it might be 20 days, it might be 50 days. That's hard to believe, you know? But, like, all the stuff they're going to do to keep the Epstein files hidden, it's over at some point, and the Epstein files get revealed. And then Putin loses Trump, you know? But in the meantime, Putin and the KGB and the Timu KGB, the FBI, can, like, do all this shit to keep Trump one step ahead, you know? Same with Netanyahu. He's always just been one step ahead of prosecution by doing genocides. And Netanyahu's genocide just conveniently distracts from Putin's genocide in Ukraine. White man from town says, actually, I won't because you're boring. You look like you're dying. Donald Trump is your hope and change president now. Shadow Typhoon says, what curses? You guys are cursed. You guys are zombies. You're not Zionists. You're not Zionists. You're zombies. You're zombies. You're Christian nationalists, Nazis. You're Nazis, Christian nationalists, Nazis, nationalist Christians, Christian nationalists, Nazis, and you're fucking Zionists. Like, you're Nazis. You're all part of a Trump Putin terrorist network. You're terrible, terrible people. Like, everyone will always hate you forever. Like, stop being what you are. That's why I'm removing your curses. You're welcome. I'm removing your curses, and I'm cursing Putin with them. I'm removing your curses, and I'm cursing Trump with them. And I'm cursing Netanyahu with them. For anybody who just came in town, I already removed you guys' curses, and you're some ungrateful little snots. Okay. White man from town says, I support Apex President Trump 100,000%. You don't seem to know anything. White man from town. I was talking to Shadow Typhoon, who said that he never said he supported Trump. But you can tell, if somebody's not opposed to Trump, that's too much support for Trump. And Shadow Typhoon says, hold on. Demanding someone denounce something or be othered sounds like something the Nazis, fascists, and Stalinists. Fuck off, you fucking Nazi piece of shit. Okay? That's all that matters. You want me just to fucking mute you so I don't have to read your stupid Nazi bullshit anymore, you pedophile Nazi Shadow Typhoon who's had an account for 12 years? So you definitely don't need to be talking shit on my live. But anyway, I removed your fucking curses and cursed Putin with them. So you did some good in your life against your will, against Putin's will. You did some good in your life. You guys just make me say the same bullshit all the time. What's John Toomey have to say? Why did we have to elect Trump? He's not even qualified. Well, we didn't elect him. Let's be clear about that. White man from town says, sir, maybe if you turn the vibration down on your dildo, you'll be able to think more clearly. I think funny. I think I'm being funny. I put many emojis of thinking I'm funny. White man from town says, you don't, your three former Democrat president appointed judges released DOJ requested documents regarding Epstein. Shadow Typhoon says, so much hate in this man. Hate in the heart for Trump. How can they have hate in their heart for Trump? He gets mad when called it. Dude, nobody's mad. You guys are pathetic. It's just boring. That's why it's better to sing songs than to read you guys' comments. They're so fucking boring. What is Nazi? Like, you guys are Nazis. Why? How would you not know? Can you not tell by the concentration camps Trump's having that you're Nazis? Can you not tell by all the Nazi stuff that he supports around the world? All the other Nazis he supports around the world? Again, can you tell that Putin's a Nazi? Can you tell that Netanyahu's a Nazi? Can you tell that Trump's a Nazi? Can you tell that you're a Nazi? Like, and why should anybody be happy to talk to fucking Nazis? Just because Net and YouTube crams a bunch of goddamn Nazis in my life doesn't mean I'm going to be happy to talk to you, You motherfuckers suck. No one will ever miss you. When you're not in this live, you won't be missed. When you're not on this fucking planet, you won't be missed by a single motherfucker. You think Trump's gonna miss you? You think Putin's gonna miss you? And you think you made me mad? No, you just don't deserve like pleasant energy, you stupid fucks. It's not hate. It's frustration with you being such fucking shit. It's like if you did everything to plant a flower in some shit, in some manure, but the flower just wouldn't fucking grow. And you're doing everything that's required for a flower to grow, but the flower's not growing. All you're getting is fucking shit. That's what you guys are. It's just a bunch of piles of shit. Shadow Typhoon says, mute me, silence me like the KGB and brown and black shirts. So it's like, you know the KGB is bad. You know the fucking Nazis are bad. But you don't know you're a Nazi. Wake the fuck up. That's what being woke is. To realize you're a goddamn Nazi. Stop being a goddamn Nazi. Again, do you know that Trump's a Nazi? Okay, you don't know that Trump's a Nazi. Or do you know that Trump's a Nazi? You claim to not support Trump, but do you know he's a Nazi? And then you're like, oh, but to say that if someone doesn't oppose a Nazi, they are a Nazi. That is Nazi. No, that's anti-Nazi. That's what all the anti-Nazis agree on. That's like one of the most famous anti-Nazi statements is if you're associating with Nazis, you don't call them out for being Nazis, then you're a goddamn Nazi. It applies to Trump and pedophilia as well. Are you calling out Trump for being a pedophile? Are you helping the side that's keeping Trump's pedophilia a secret? Then you're a fucking pedophile. So are you a pedophile? Are you proud to be a pedophile? Are you proud to be a Nazi? Because I get trolls just like you in my life, except they're proud to be Nazis. They talk about being Nazis like they're so fucking proud of it. But they're just like you, other than that. So what? Tell me what the fucking difference is, you fucking Nazi pedophile piece of shit. Prove yourself a fascist. Prove yourself a fascist. You're like strike me down and become, you're like such a fucking Sith piece of shit. Such a Sith wannabe piece of shit. And so how do you guys feel about them kidnapping the people trying to break the Gaza flotilla, break the Gaza siege? How do you guys feel about that? Where are you guys on that topic? Where are you Nazis on that topic? Do you want Israel to look bad? Do you want Nazis to do genocides? Which you Nazis in comments, you two Nazis in comments, which side are you guys on? The flotilla or the fascists? Put an F for flotilla, put an F for fascists in chat. Which side are you guys on? I'm going to shut this live down in a few minutes anyway, so I'm just going to keep asking until you answer the question. Which side are you guys on? The flotilla side, making Israel look bad because you're Nazis and Klansmen? Or are you on the Israel side because you're Nazis and Klansmen? Which side are you guys on? Anybody can chime in. I was just asking the two Nazis, pedophiles in chat. Not for Herman. What is that? What is not for Herman? So yeah, if you can answer the question, please, then I'll know whether or not we need to discuss anymore. Are you for the flotilla, the global Samud flotilla that's going into Gaza to break the siege? Are you for Greta Thunberg and the global? Why do I have to ask you Nazis if you're for Greta Thunberg? Are you Nazis for Greta Thunberg and the global Samud flotilla? Oh, Hyman, not for Hyman is Greta's new haircut. Okay, I thought you said Herman, which I thought you were talking about Herman Munster for some reason. So one person, a new person, had to come into the chat to express that so you're for Israel, or are you just against Greta Thunberg, and you're still super like Nazi and Klansman, so you're not really for Israel, but you're using Israel because you're more against Greta Thunberg. Is that how that works? I don't know what that cartoon is. Like, what country are you from? We don't have that cartoon in America. Oh, He-Man? Dude, that's not how you spell He-Man, you idiot. We do have He-Man in America, but you're an idiot. First of all, stop caps locking. Secondly, learn to spell He-Man, you fucking idiot. You can't make a thank you, Free Palestine. You can't make a He-Man reference and not know how to spell He-Man. So anyway, Lil China, can we talk for a minute? Never mind the fascists behind the other comments. Can you and I talk, Lil China? Because I'll talk to you because you said Free Palestine. You seem to be someone worth talking to. I do need to shut down the live in the next 9 minutes. So I'm not going to be live for much longer. I might come back live again a little bit later on. But welcome to the live. I don't recognize your name and the fact that you're a decent person. So again, never mind the Nazis and Klansmen in chat. See, Little China probably already left because there's too many damn Nazis in the chat. And everybody can tell you guys are Nazis. Like, you can't try to pretend. You're not. The Nazi pedophile, white man from town, says, maybe he's part of your foreign collusion voting bloc and is learning to spell. Then somebody has a comment that's held for review. It's fucking Nazi pedophile, white man from town. From the looks of your health, you won't be alive much longer. Like, dude, you look like a fucking Beastie Boy. Like, I can't tell you. You have to type a blue profile. But, like, seriously, like, what the fucking Putin? Like, you guys' savior is, like, teetering on the abyss. Like, fucking, your Antichrist, what's his name, Trump? That motherfucker is, like, deader than fucking, Pete Hegseth's dick. And, when he sees his wife. Sorry. Your leaders are so gay. Somebody was talking about how all the leaders in the Trump administration are gay, like Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth, and they're all super gay. And then somebody was like, so Trump's the only straight one? And he's like, yeah, and he's porking Putin, and he's tooting Putin. Little China says, Greater Israel Pocket, right, October 7th was a lot happening. Oh, yeah, dude. He called it his 9/11. Like, what's he trying to tell you? His October 9/11. And Netanyahu is, again, a Putin puppet. Hamas supposedly works for, Iran working for Putin. So, yeah, they coordinate that shit. Of course they do that. Of course they're going to attack themselves. Oh, what else does it remind you of? When they attack themselves and blame us. They attack themselves and blame us. Oh, Charlie Kirk? Who killed Charlie Kirk? Whoever it wasn't us. It was them. And then they blamed us. Fucking Butler PA, the misser, the guy who shot that teleprompter and that poor fireman, shot that poor teleprompter and shot that poor fireman. Like, the misser was a crisis actor. He wasn't trying to shoot Trump. Like, there was never a chance that Trump was going to get shot in that situation. But they shot themselves, and then they blamed us for it. And then fucking 9/11, fucking BB's October 9/11, fucking, they keep doing this shit. And we just need a fucking coach who will call the play that stops that fucking fake ass play. Attacking yourself, and it's like flopping in basketball. It's why all this shit is so offensive to us, just at the basic level. Attacking yourself or acting like somebody attacked you when it was you doing it to your fucking self, and then blaming somebody else. That shit's wrong. Everybody hates you for it. Okay, Netanyahu allowed Qatar to fund Hamas. I believe that. I heard that Netanyahu personally funded Hamas, but maybe that's the channels by which he did it. Thank you, Malt, Licky, and Lil China. It's so nice to have people to talk to in the chat. Because of Net and YouTube, people are going to find out. Net and YouTube is not the best. But it works. I mean, we can at least say Nazis. We can at least talk about who these fuckers are. We can at least, talk about we don't have to speak TikTokese, which it's cute and everything, but I'm glad it's going away. I'm glad people don't need TikTok anymore. And they're going to be coming back to YouTube. So if you are a TikTok refugee, welcome to YouTube. I can't do a live longer than an hour, though. So this live is going to be shut down in about 3 minutes. So hold your comments, especially you fucking Nazis. White man from town says, okay, cross-dressing creep shooter. There's no cross-dressing shooters. That's all fucking chat KGB, Cash Patel's, Timu KGB fantasies. They just make this bullshit up to blame trans people. No, trans people were not involved. No trans people were involved in the production of this Charlie Kirk shooting. That was all you guys. All you guys. I think I read all the comments. So let's shut the live down. We'll come back live later. Hopefully these Nazi pedophiles won't find it this time. Someone 36 says TikTok refugees. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, because Netanyahu took over TikTok. Netanyahu already runs YouTube. I mean, that's why I call it Net YouTube. But YouTube's so big, I guess. It's not. TikTok had a lot more users, right? YouTube, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. YouTube's like a giant warehouse. Nothing's really happening here. But it's going to start happening now that they took over TikTok. So it really backfired on them. Like, the dangerous thing about TikTok is not the algorithm. I mean, the algorithm's kind of dangerous because all the TikTok algorithm ever really did was show you things you like. It was like what the internet could be, right? But TikTok wasn't dangerous. It wasn't pushing some dangerous agenda. It was just when people can see how popular certain ideas are, like, I don't know, say communism, then those ideas start to swell and rise and become really popular. And all it takes is an internet that's not pushing an agenda to allow that to happen. Okay, Net and YouTube is pushing an agenda, but we've learned how to push back. We've learned how to get certain messages to go through. We've learned how to speak in code and all this bullshit. So now that people who haven't been on YouTube come back to YouTube and realize YouTube's been copying TikTok, like all these fucking features and shit, they're all the same as TikTok has. Nobody's using them because nobody uses YouTube really that much. I mean, people use it to watch shit, but nobody uses it like they use TikTok. But you can. It's functionally capable of being like TikTok. Maybe without the GIFs. I don't know. Are there GIFs on YouTube? I don't know. So, not quite like TikTok. But there's a lot of shit we can do on YouTube and more shit we can do on YouTube in certain contexts. Like we can say certain words. Shit like that. White man from town says, you're a disgrace to your ancestors. Nope. You Nazis, you Nazi pedophiles are the ones who are a disgrace to your ancestors. You understand the concept of being a disgrace to your ancestors, but you're the ones who are the disgrace to your ancestors. My ancestors are proud as fuck of me. Like, I can tell that. You Nazi pedophiles. No, your ancestors and your descendants are ashamed of you, if any. Like, everybody, Talio Candice, pork for Palestina. My ancestors invented fascism. See, look, you guys are proud Nazi fascists. That's who you guys are. You're the proud Nazi fascists. Your ancestors who fought against those fascists are extremely disappointed in you. This guy just came in to prove that. You guys are so fucking stupid. Italio Candessa says, I am not a Nazi. I'm a proud fascist. It's like the same fucking... Nobody cares. Like, just because you're different brand fascist, my armband, different brand. It's the same fucking brand. White man from now says, you and your 7 viewers, half of them against you, are really good at pushing back. Dude, half of you, none of you count. You're all the same. All you're ever going to say is some Putin bullshit. Some Putin scripted bullshit. It's never going to matter. Italio Candice comes in and says, my ancestors invented fascism. I told you guys to stop commenting. We're shutting down the live. White man from town says, my descendants haven't been born yet, old man. No, but if you had descendants, or the people who are the descendants of anything about you, are going to hate you because you're a fucking Nazi and a pedophile. Everybody on either side of time and space was always going to hate you, Nazi pedophile trash. But I'll come back to tell you that in the next live in about 5 minutes. I'm sure you'll be here. And to everybody else, thanks for being here. Sorry I was talking to the Nazi pedophiles. But somebody's got to tell them to fuck off, right? Anyway, thanks. We'll see you in a little bit.